Happy full moon in Aquarius, my sweet friends. This one has been a fucking doozy for me. And I want to talk to you about maybe why it might be feeling like a doozy for you. I'm doing this at 9:48 at night. I don't know if anyone is even going to be on right now, but if you are, hi, welcome. If you're not and you're catching the replay, don't worry. This full moon is going to be impacting us for a while, and I'm going to tell you why. So if you don't know me, my name is Meredith. Hi, welcome. A few days ago, the sun moved from sweet, watery Cancer into Leo, and as the zodiac wheel turns, we turn along with it. And so we have a whole new set of archetypes that we're rocking with now. We move from watery Cancer to fiery Leo, and the moon went from earthy Capricorn into airy and erratic Aquarius. And so, one of the things that makes this moon particularly special is that this is actually one of two Aquarius full moons. We're actually going to have two Aquarius full moons in a row, which means that this is going to be basically intensifying what Aries is here to teach us. It's creating a really solid, deep container for the lessons that this particular archetype has to offer. So you're going to have a lot of time to work with it, just like me. We call this a blue moon, an astrological blue moon. So typically when you hear blue moon, you think, oh, two full moons in the same month. These two full moons are happening in the same sign of Leo. So it's all happening in the sign of Leo. July 23rd is today. The next one is August 22nd. And so they're happening in separate months, but it's a blue Leo season or blue moon in Leo. So last year, this happened in Libra. We had two Libra full moons. Actually, the last 2 years were Libra full moons. They were fucking intense for me. And so, we're creating this vast container around Aquarius. And that's what we're going to get into is what does Aquarius represent? Why is it important? Why do we need to pay attention to it? Well, it's in service to growth and transformation as usual. So I'm grateful to be here. I do want to say that I am fucking exhausted. I'm glad you're here on time too, Marissa. And thank you, Max, for saying I know a lot. Hell yeah. I'm grateful I'm exhausted. My back has been out for the past month. I haven't been able to work. I also have a cold sore that I covered up with makeup, but in service to being a real human, yes, I wanted to let you know that that's happening as well in my life. So let's just get into it, shall we? So you remember the last moon that we talked about? It was a new moon in Cancer, and we had that Venus-Mars conjunction in Leo. And what this reminded us was that we nurture ourselves, we nurture our healing, we do our tender healing work, and we do that profound, gentle holding of our healing work in service, that's Cancer, in service to Venus and Mars conjunction, in service to pleasure, in service to polarity, in service to the life force that gets activated when feminine and masculine, your desire and your ability to act are empowered and enlivened. When you heal, you can enjoy your life more. So now the sun has moved into Leo, and this is a fucking completely different energy. It's summer now, fully and completely. Cancer kicks off summer, but there's still spring intermixed, but Leo is like, sun is shining bright. It's the fixed sign of summer. It's hot and it's fiery. And what Leo represents, so where the sun is shining, and Leo is actually ruled by the sun, so it's a double whammy of sun shining. And the sun is shining on the part of you that is courageous, that is brave, that is able to fully express yourself, that holds nothing back, that is open-hearted. If you were going to put a crown on your fucking cute head and be the ruler of your life, the unabashed king, queen, ruler of your kingdom, that's Leo. Leo asks you to be unabashedly yourself, to take center stage in your one beautiful, precious life. Leo asks you to think, if your life were a movie, would your character be the fucking hero, be taking risks, be doing it and doing it well? That's Leo energy. It's so beautiful. Leo asks you to take risks, to be yourself, and to do it with a full, open, all of your heart. And if you think about it, Leo is represented by the lion, and a group of lions is called what? A pride. A group of lions is called a pride. That's Leo. Leo wants you to take pride in your existence, to take pride in who you are and the expression of who you are, and to get fucking excited about your own potential, about reaching your potential, about being the royal you, like the best fucking you that you could be. So that's where the sun is. And of course, Leo, like all things, has shadow. It can be egotistical and attention seeking, like a child, interrupting all the time. And we love the shadow and the light of all archetypes. But right now, the sun is shining its big, beautiful, bright ass, brilliant light on Leo, and it's asking us to shine, to be ourselves, and to be the royal selves, and to investigate what it means to be ourselves at our highest. And so we're kicking this Leo season off because it just happened a few days ago with this full moon in Aquarius. The moon is always on a full moon. The sun is always opposite a moon. And that means that if the sun is in Leo, the moon on a full moon has to be in its opposite sign of Aquarius. So anytime a full moon is happening, it's always in opposite signs. The opposite signs never change. It's Leo and Aquarius, Virgo and Pisces, Libra and Aries, etc., and so on. So we've got this tension between these opposing signs. But the thing is these opposing signs, all of the signs that oppose each other, they offer gifts. So Aquarius offers a gift to the Leo. Aquarius offers a gift to Leo's desire for you to be your full, brilliant, bright self. So here's what we're going to talk about. The moon, as you may recall from all of my videos, I talk about it. The moon represents your physical and your emotional needs. How do you get your needs met? What helps you feel safe? What helps you feel nurtured? It's tender. It's the most tender planet. It's deep. It represents your unconscious, your patternings, the shit that you inherited from your parents that you can't even really realize you inherited, but you're like fully embodying. That's the moon. So full moons are emotional because that's what the moon represents, and the sun shines its brilliant, bright-ass light on your most tender pieces and parts. And then the moon moves through different archetypes to shine different lights on tender pieces of you so that you can learn and grow, so that you can transform, so that you can build yourself up, heal, and nurture so that you can do the Leo thing, which is be your biggest and brightest and most badass self. So Aquarius is here to offer a gift to the Leo request to shine your bright ass fucking light. And so what Aquarius represents, Aquarius is the disruptor. Aquarius is the rebel. They're also the genius and the mad scientist. They're the inventor. They are the humanitarian. Aquarius is all about freedom. They are all about thinking outside of the box, acting outside of societal norms, unconventionally being their radical individual selves. They are the ones that are willing to toss out old and outdated ways of being, outdated concepts, outdated patterns, outdated rules in service to what they see as an idealistic future that where everybody benefits. They're the humanitarian. I'm back. Aquarius energy is exciting, it's electric, and it's unpredictable, and it's ruled by Uranus, the planet that is basically the representer of change, freedom, breakthroughs, rebellion. It's a lot. It's electric. And so my question to you is, have you been feeling it, friend? I have. So Leo is here to ask us to shine bright, and Aquarius is here to remind us that sometimes in order to be your biggest, brightest, badass fucking self, you need to shake shit up. Aquarius moon is here to point to the places where you might be stuck, what in your life is preventing you from shining. The moon is tender. It's here for healing. It's here for nurturing. But Aquarius is like, hey, sometimes healing, sometimes transformation means we have to disrupt old patternings. Sometimes we have to shake shit up, have breakdowns that lead to breakthroughs, disrupt the old ways, have even sudden realizations. It's intense, but it's all in service, again, to growth and transformation. Always, always, always. These moons are always in service to the nurturing of you. And sometimes the universe is like, hey, the biggest thing that's going to nurture you is a giant swift kick in the ass. I didn't design it this way. I don't know who did. I guess the universe. So Aquarius is a tough cookie of sorts. It's not known for its individual empathy. Aquarius is in service to humanity, not the individual. And so oftentimes it can come across as cold. It's like, I don't care if you're uncomfortable. This is what we all need to do to grow. So here's a perfect example of Aquarius energy is that cisgendered people right now are now giving our pronouns. I'm Meredith. I use the pronouns she, her. This is completely unconventional. We didn't do this even 2 years ago, let alone 10 years ago. This is a new, unconventional way of operating in service to all of humanity, eventually being comfortable, eventually being heard, eventually being understood. And it makes a lot of people uncomfortable, right? They're like, oh, I don't understand why I have to use my pronouns, but I'm just a woman. I'm just a man. I was born a man. Well, Aquarius doesn't give a shit because that's what you need to be doing right now so that everybody can feel seen and heard. That's Aquarius energy. So if you're feeling the electricity, if you're feeling maybe even the coldness, like I'm not ready, if you're feeling scattered, feeling like shit is unpredictable or maybe unexpected, yeah, that's what's happening. Aquarius is rocking up and it's like, hey, this is disruption in service to your freedom. This is disruption in service to the freedom for you to be more of yourself. Max, the reason I know all of this is because I've been studying astrology for since I was 15, 25 years. Yay, Haral, so glad you're here, babe. So the question that you can ask yourself is, what is being disrupted for you right now? Take a look. What's being disrupted or what do you need to disrupt? Are there things in your life that you know, thoughts, beliefs, old ways of being that you've outgrown, relationships, you know that they need to be disrupted? Or here's another question. What do you need to rebel against? Remember, Aquarius is also the rebellion. It's the thing that sparks change. So can you rebel against your own old patterns or beliefs? Can you rebel against old pieces of parts of you that you have outgrown in service to your own brighter future? See, when it comes to change, when it comes to transformation, disruptions are key. We have to disrupt the status quo in order to create the change we wish to see. And sometimes the disruptions happen to us outside of our control. You know, Tony Robbins would say, it doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. You know, it's in service to you, but it's outside of your control. And sometimes when we're lucky, we get to be the ones to decide. We get to be the ones with the power and the gusto and the fucking bravery to do our own disrupting. So today I got a text from a friend. She sent me a screenshot. She's like, babe, I'm finally showing up in vulnerability. I'm not letting this connection fade out into ghosting. And she spoke to the connection fading instead of just letting it fade out. She disrupted an old pattern, a societal convention of allowing ghosting to be the way, and she disrupted it. That is fucking powerful. I had a girlfriend break another societal norm. She called me up and she's like, I called a dude last night. I wasn't waiting around for him and I invited him over and she got laid. Yeah! Congrats. And I personally, this is extraordinarily tender. I personally had a conversation with my father that I've needed to have for 15 years. Finally, it's been 15 years in the making for me to tell my dad, I need you in my life and I need you to call me. This is a huge disrupting pattern of my own that is allowing me to speak my voice, speak my truth, be vulnerable with the OG man in my life, my father, it's a big deal. So this is where we're at right now. If you aren't currently experiencing a disruption in your life that you can tell, that's okay. Or if you aren't sure where you'd like to disrupt your life, or if you know where you need to disrupt it, but you aren't quite ready yet, don't worry. Remember what I said. We've got these 2 full moons happening. We've got this one, and then we've got another one in a month. So this is a beautiful container being held for us through these archetypes. It's challenging, it's profound, but it's all in service to our freedom. It really is in service to our freedom. It's in service to disrupting your status quo, rebelling against old parts of you that aren't in alignment anymore. And it's in service to a brighter future, and it's in service to humanity as a whole. Don't forget, the work that you do on yourself impacts your lineage. The pattern stops here. Sarah's, I love you. This is particularly relevant. It doesn't pass along to your children, your babies. You do it here. You do the work now, and it stops with you. So your lineage is healed, which then fucking heals the whole world. And if you don't have children and you don't plan to, well, guess what? Everybody that comes into contact with you will feel the impact of the work that you do. And this is how we change the motherfucking world. And that's what Aquarius wants. It's all in service to humanity. And I give you permission to have a little bit more empathy towards yourself than maybe Aquarius would. So these archetypes provide powerful language to explore what it means to be human. Each of these archetypes that we explore, moon after moon, represent different energies that we can all tap into no matter what your chart looks and feels like. So if you've been following me, you see how juicy it can be, how fucking awesome it can be to understand, oh, Aquarius is about disruption and rebellion. How does that relate to me? And it's beautiful. So if you want to explore, or you like exploring these archetypes and want to go deeper with me, if you want to be supported with a group of rad people that like to do this type of work and talk about it authentically, if you want to practice ritual on a weekly basis to get back to the fucking truth of who you are, Radical Magic, my group, is now open for enrollment. Yeah, it's an amazing crew of awesome people. Sarah's in it. She's here right now. And it's for all people. You don't need to be a woman or identify as a woman. It's a human circle, no matter what your gender identity is. It's fucking affordable. It's virtual. We meet twice a month. I give you weekly emails. We go deep into these archetypes and explore them together. Ritual journaling question. It's amazing. It's 4 months, August, September, October, November. We're going to be looking at Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. You can go to my website, meredithmarlies.com, or the link in my bio. Check it out. Just go check it out. I want you to join. It's the most wonderful part of my life right now. Truly, I mean that. And so if you want to join, do it. Check it out. See what it is. I'm going to be talking about it more in the next couple of weeks. And do your disruptive work. Do it. And if you need support, reach out. Reach out either to me or someone you love and ask them for support. We can't do this alone. We're not meant to. Whatever you need to disrupt in your life, you're ready and you can do it. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for all of the comments. Max, Sarah, Marissa, Haral, thank you. And I'll talk to you really soon. Good night.